Hello, welcome to the Beard Out Podcast. Podcast where we talk about the two greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al Yankovic. My Aunt Lala and my dad are the hosts of the show. Thanks for listening to the Beard Out Podcast, part of the OddPods Media Network. Stay weird and enjoy the show.
Got that going, and now the theme song.
Well, hey, how are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see ya. What can you say? Where's Lala?
Well, look at that. We're back again with more Beard Al. That is right. Just because John's not around doesn't mean the show stops. It means we keep going with other people. So like I say, this is the Beard Al Podcast. It's the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And we're getting personal with Weird Al these days, people, because that's kind of what I want to do. I want to give people the opportunity to talk about Weird Al in their weird, wonderful ways. So this week, I have buddy, fellow OddPods Media Network member, and friend of the show, Garret, back on. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Lauren? Or Lala?
Yeah, right. I know. I'm here. Lala is here, and I'm doing pretty good. We were talking before we came on air that this past Monday was Labor Day, and so I'm suffering from a little bit of a sunburn from some of my poor pool choices. Wiped me out.
What a great way to celebrate the day.
I know. Russ and I spent a good chunk of our time since then putting some of like that cooling like aloe, sunburns. We're like, oh my God, why did we do to ourselves? Why did we let this happen? So
it's almost worth getting a sunburn for how good that stuff feels to put on after a sunburn.
Yeah, I agree. And full disclosure, this may be a little gross and people may not agree with me. I love a good sunburn peel. Like, I'm real excited to get to the peel stage. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's always good to get when you get like a good section, you're like, oh, this was worth it.
Yeah.
This was worth the pain.
It was worth all the pain. I'm so excited about it. It's terrible. I'm such a weirdo. But that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
I have a beer that I've had on the show plenty of times before. It's my Sweetwater 420 G13 strain. It's just one of my favorites, and it was in the fridge, so I'm having it.
There you go. I'm having a Bud Light because we don't have a lot of beer in our fridge that I enjoy, and so I just went with the tried and true classic.
There you go. Nothing wrong with it. See, you got it. It's good, and thank you for participating in the beer portion of the Beard Out Podcast. So what we're doing here is we are having folks on to talk about their kind of relationship, I guess, with Weird Al. And my husband Russ did this a couple of weeks ago to kind of lay the groundwork with being like, what got you into Weird Al? What was your Weird Al origin story? What does he mean to you? And just kind of how is his work woven into the fabric of your life? And I think based on the nature of your podcast, you like weird stuff and you like mixing it up. So before we talk about Weird Al too much here, Garret, tell my audience again about your podcast, which you have brought its format over to this show before, but tell us again.
Yeah, so the Ever Trending Story, which is hosted by myself and my good buddy pal Frankie. What we do is we peruse the news and we find fun trends in the news, like Twitter, Google, anything like that. Any kind of usually weird news story that just seems, to be happening. And what we'll do is we'll take keywords from those stories and then we will spin them into a fun fictional story centered around a randomized genre.
I love it. And it's so much fun. And I would again encourage any of my listeners, if Garrett's ever looking for guests and you have a podcast and you kind of know what you're doing, it's a fun thing to be a part of. But I also love what y'all are doing with, all the stories that the two of you come up with. It's great. It's delightful. And it is so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're in the talks of trying to get more guests on the show since we kind of dropped the ball on that this year. So yeah, like Lauren said, if you're a podcast and you want to come have some fun for a bit, just find me on socials and we'll get the ball rolling.
Yes. The ever trending story. Da-da-da-da. I feel like my listeners need to know that Garret has two very fuzzy pooches in the room with him that are being very demanding of his attention. And as we're sitting here on this video call, I'm just finding it so adorable because like these little Muppet heads are just like popping up here and there looking at me. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. So, well, you know what? We love dogs on the show. Can you tell my audience your dog's names?
I have the two dogs that are with me right now. One of them is Esther. She's our oldest dog. Well, I guess oldest newer dog. I have a Chihuahua too, but he's like old. His name's Zephyr. He's upstairs sleeping, which is what Chihuahuas do for like 22 hours a day. This one's Esther, and then the other one I have is Lilu. They both have doodles in them, and the other one has like German short hair. And she's a ball of energy, and she's currently just going ham on a bone. And the other one is just sitting here calmly while I pet her head 1,000 times during this podcast.
I see it. She's like, nope, this is what I need right here now in this moment. So let her have it. That's what they're allowed to do. Look, she's like, you're taking a sip of that. What is that? Can I smell it? Is that for me? No, it's not for you. It's not for you, doggy, silly dog. Beer is for humans. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm sorry. This is my problem. I get distracted by dogs. I've got two big ones in my own house, but like I see a dog and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
They just warm your heart. So, Garret, my friend, I guess the first place I would love for us to go with this conversation is what got you into Weird Al in the first place?
I was really trying to pinpoint an actual date and time, kind of like Russ had his stories just down.
Yeah.
And my memory is not quite as sharp as Russ's is, but what I can tell you is that my dad is actually to thank/blame for a lot of my music tastes. He liked everything. Mostly he liked more rock kind of stuff than like my mom did. I don't know if my mom would ever enjoy actually listening to music, she's kind of one of those people.
Yeah.
But my my dad just, no matter what he's doing, he will find music to play. And through him, I think I actually had a tape of Weird Al's I think his first album that he came out with. I think I had a tape of that, and I like brought a tape player to school and would like listen to it back and forth on the bus, and kind of got into him that way. And then I was in high school in the infancy of the internet, so it became a little easier to find his music for me. And me and a couple other friends just kind of enjoyed the silliness of Al. And I think like the first song that really speaks out to me was like another one, Rides the Bus.
Because you were literally riding the bus.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I wasn't a big fan of that song necessarily right away, just because it was so different from the original as far as like how the music went, how fast it was. Like to me, it just didn't seem like what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't a very good parody at the time when I was thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back now, I see why he did it that way, and I appreciate it more now as an adult. But just seeing him grow and stuff, and just trying to go back and listen to like Amish Paradise was huge for me when that one came out. It was funny. It was a popular song, with Coolio's original version, and Weird Al's was hilarious. I mean, it still is, even thinking about it now. I was 8 when that one came out, and like it was just like, give me more of that. Give me all of this, please.
Yeah, you find that, well, first of all, we do have something very directly in common, was that was our dad that gave us a cassette of Weird Al's first album. So we have that going
Nice.
for us. Yeah. And you're hitting on something that I feel like is very prevalent with Weird Al fans, and that is once you get the taste for it, it's like, I need all of this. Give me more of it. Where can I get more? Like, how deep is this well, you know?
Right. I think back to when I was in fourth grade. I can't necessarily pinpoint if I was listening to him at that point, but there must have been something there because I remember very distinctly writing poetry that was based on like a song, but adding my own words to it and kind of doing like a parody of it and giving it to my teacher to hang up in the school, like in the classroom.
Ah.
And that's something I've been doing at least since fourth grade, but I still do it now. If I'm like driving in the car and a song comes on, and if I can think of a different word that rhymes with what the original one is, I will just make my way to it and kind of improvise my way through the songs and do parodies, maybe not quite as family friendly as Weird Al's, but in in the same vein of doing that is just taking a regular song and putting a parody type like spin on it, and I enjoy that immensely. And I think that because of just Weird Al's overall influence on my life since however long I've actually been listening, that I can attribute that to him.
Yeah, I like that what I can definitely tell, like even just from this story from you and like knowing your podcast, is that probably subconsciously Weird Al was the one who gave you like the freedom to flex your weird creative muscles. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be serious to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking back to like even some of his song titles, like the radioactive hamster, like where would that even come from? But it's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. And that one's great. Attack of the Radioactive Hamsters from a Planet Near Mars. Like, that's Earth, right? Like, what planet is near Mars?
Yeah,
it's Earth.
right.
And like it's marvelous. He gives us a freedom that I feel like he gives us a license to have it and to own what we have and do. Like, if not for Weird Al, just the other day in the kitchen, Troy, the Doberman, was like pawing at his bowl because he was like, he's insisting that it's time for dinner now. And I was like, oh, he's a hungry guy. And so then the next thing I know, out of my mouth goes, he's a hungry guy. And so I was like, and it just came out of my mouth. And I'm sure that's how some things started with Weird Al. It's just like, oh, a moment happens and it sparks something and then away you go.
Mm-hmm. I saw a TikTok the other day where someone was, it was some kind of show or whatever, and the guy's like, "Quick, think of a word that rhymes with tart," and immediately the guy's like, "Fart."
Yep.
Like, and he's like, not like every time if you pick a word, there's so many words that rhyme with tart, but the first thing in your mind is just fart, and that's funny. Like, and it's just how people go. So like in my head, whenever I'm listening to really just any song, as long as it's maybe not like the first time hearing it, but if it's like something I hear over and over, I pay attention to all the music tracks and stuff in the background. So once everything's just kind of incorporated in there, it's really easy for my brain to just be like, okay, what rhymes with this? And just kind of make a whole song doing that. And actually, I remember, now that we're talking about this, I had a desk job for 7-8 years or so. And during points where it would just get super boring and I couldn't focus on work for another minute, I seriously would just sit and write parody songs just on a Word doc, just open it up and just get to typing and share it with my buddies at work. Be like, look at this dumb thing I wrote.
That's delightful. I think we've all been there. It was at work where I wrote my parody to Careless Whisper about leggings. I'm never wearing pants again. And I did it at work, and I sent it out to my coworkers. So yes, I 1000% understand that. I wrote another one at work, but it's not funny to the general masses because it was literally like about one of our products. So I'm like, oh, this is funny, but only to a very specific audience. We had it was a lead generation product for small businesses called Lead Stream.
Okay.
And I would just go around the office going, lead stream goes on when I close my eye. Like these dreams by heart.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the whole damn thing, lead stream. And like, I was very proud of it, but like only like 10 people get it. So
Sure. I think one of the ones that I wrote was it was back in when Lady Gaga just blew up on the scene and Bad Romance was just huge on the radio. And instead of caught in a bad romance, I said caught wearing women's pants. And every time I hear that song, that's immediately my head goes, caught wearing women's pants, and I don't know if I ever did the whole song, but I at least had that part down pretty good.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Now see, what did John did something for Cece when she was younger to shake it off when she was like still in diapers and stuff. And he would be like, and I just keep pooping, can't stop, won't stop pooping. It's like I've got this poop in my diapers and it's gonna be all right. Cause and it was like all poop.
Yep.
It was like all poop. And
oh, that's delightful.
yeah, so it's like I think it's very funny, and you know what? Actually, this is a good idea that's here. So, folks, if I want people to contribute to my compilation episode, "What Weird Al Means to Me," that I'm trying to put out the end-ish of October around Weird Al's birthday, and if you feel like your story is too big for a 30-second to 3-minute compilation, that's okay. Distill it down, email it to me, and then maybe we'll get you on to do kind of exactly what Garret is doing right here, to tell your full story. But if you're just like, you know what, I want to contribute to this with examples of some funny parody lyrics that I have written in my life, also do that, because I think that is a true, pure testament to what Weird Al has given to us in the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I really hope some people take you up on that.
I do too. I've gotten a couple. I've gotten a handful. People really need to get on it though. What I am doing next week is I'm re-releasing the first What Weird Al Means to Me compilation that we put out the first week of 2021. So
okay.
It's been a while. I was like, you know what? I want people to hear what one of these things sounds like. So they know, like, this, you're going to be part of something pretty darn huge-ish in the grand scheme. It's huge-ish.
Huge-ish. I like that.
Yeah. So what do you call that? What do the kids say these days? Is that mid?
Yeah, I think that's what they use. I try to use some of that young speak, and my kids just roll their eyes at me every time I say something. Like the other day I was talking to my daughter and I said, like, yeah, I did that. No cap. And she goes, Dad, shut up. You're not, you can't say that.
You can't. It's been brought to my attention that no cap is no more. That is passé slang.
Man, that went away fast.
That did go away very, very quickly. I have 2 new classes that I'm teaching at a new college, and they're all like freshmen or like dual enrollment students, which means they're in high school taking a class for college credit while they're still in high school. So I got some youngins, all right?
Yeah.
And I'm finally owning the fact that I have no reason to know their slang.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm owning the fact that I don't. And I'm making the connections with them that way. I was like, I literally have no idea what you're saying. I don't know what any of this means. Define your terms before you continue to use them, because read the rhetorical room here, my friends. Okay. Another colleague of mine who has been teaching online primarily for the past couple of years just went back into the classroom this semester. And she messaged me earlier and she's like, Lauren, I forgot how to teach in person. I feel so weird up there. I spent like 5 minutes talking about my 600-pound life and none of them knew what it was. And I'm like, girlfriend, you have to own the fact that you are separated from them now by at least a generation. Mm-hmm. So you can't own the fact that you don't know.
That's good advice, actually. I definitely need to embrace that, because I more often than not, I feel like I get it, but I'm just trying to do things like that just to more or less embarrass my kids. Because
Oh
I told my
yeah.
kids, I have no shame. If you act up, I have no problem acting a fool in public because who cares?
Right.
Like,
What are they
kind
gonna
of
do to me?
relating that back to like Weird Al. I don't care. I'll just do what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's okay because I'm not hurting anybody. But if you're gonna be silly, I will turn the silly up to 11 and embarrass you in public because I don't care.
Yeah. I love it. I don't. No, I don't care either. I absolutely don't care either. And you know what? I think this is a good spot for me to throw some commercials here in the middle, some commercials in our show promo, because if I don't, I will forget to do it. And then it'll be like way down at the very end of the episode. And nobody likes that because that's not smooth. Those aren't smooth transitions if I slap a big old break on at the end. So, because Garrett's a pretty special guest, and I'm officially going to have this on my button board soon. But you know what? For now, I'm going to play it from my phone so that people know we're going to break.
We're going to be right back after you need that. That's it.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Everybody knows at the root of any good relationship, any relationship worth anything, is the only thing that matters between two people. And I'm talking about television. That's right. That's why you should listen to Married with Television, man, which is a podcast by my friends Shannon and Jamie, I call her cat ears, about movies and TV that they have loved for decades, man. You listen at marriedwithtv.com or anywhere you get your podcasts. They are proud members of the OddPods Media Network, man. Married with Television.
Because I'm just going to say, and we're back! Whoa, those ads were great, weren't they? I thought they were wonderful. Did you like Brack kicking us to the ads?
That was great.
Yeah, I loved that. See, I've got two options for that, too, because he did that one as a joke, and then he did the legitimate one. So
It was so surreal hearing him on your podcast. I can't imagine what it was like to actually talk to him, but just to like have him just be in my ears on your guys' show was like so awesome.
thank you. Yeah, it was crazy pants. Absolute crazy pants. And it's not like we tried. I didn't hassle the guy. I didn't do anything other than what Weird Al taught me. I did nothing other than be myself and have natural, just organic engagement on what the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah. I still call it Twitter.
I know we do too.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, whatever. Like what? Yeah. X Twitter.
X, yeah.
But yeah, so it just like was a natural conversation. And then he was like, so when are you having me on the show? And I was like, well, okay, then you come on whenever you want. It's fine. We're going to have a good time with this. And he was great. He was, just like a regular guy, which was very surreal to us. Like you said, it was surreal to hear.
Yeah.
It was surreal to like, along with Weird Al, we grew up with the work that Andy Merrill did. And he's just sitting there. He's like, yeah, so here I am. Here's my dog. I've got a ukulele. Do you want me to play it? I'm like, like what is happening? How did this come to be? So, act naturally, follow your dreams, be weird. Things happen.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I need to embrace that stuff more, but that's something we can get into another time.
Yeah, no, well, and that's the thing about it. Like, Weird Al keeps teaching, I was not like, I cared a lot about what people thought for a long time. And I think Weird Al did too,
Yeah.
Because he is a perfectionist and he wants you to love the things that he puts out there. But he's also just beyond true to himself. So, all right, I have a question for you then.
Okay.
Before the break, you were talking about how like you've got no problem unleashing your weird on your kids to give them a little bit of, embarrassment, right? So we know that Weird Al has one daughter. She's in college. She began college either this year or last year, which is weird for me to know about another man's child. But anyway, she seems like a delightful, level-headed young lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the best way for me to ask this other than to be like, do you think he would derive joy in embarrassing her a little bit, like as a way to build character?
Oh, I bet you. I don't know. I really don't know because I was actually listening to a comedian that I really enjoy, and at the end of one of his sets, he has a bit where he was talking about how he was filming a TV show right next door to another studio filming another TV show. And Weird Al was over there. And he's like, I'm a comedian. I've met Weird Al before. I'm gonna go just make a scene out of here. And he goes over to the guy and he goes, Hey, Weird, we need you to keep it down. And Weird Al was like, Hey, I'm so sorry, I'll keep it down. Like he was just being very cool, calm, and collected. And then the comedian's like, I've never talked to this guy in my life. Why am I acting like this weirdo in front of him? So if he was being like that in a professional setting, I wonder if he would just kind of be like very mellow with his kid. I guess I don't really know.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, right? Because like a person's public persona and like
Yeah.
who they are in their everyday lives, like how different is it? I guess
Mhm.
I could not imagine having to be, like being two different ways. You know what I mean? Do you think it's like he walks onto a set of like a TV talk show and has to like flip a switch and turn it on, or walks out onto this like the stage for a concert and I get to turn it on? And is this strictly a Weird Al phenomenon, or do you think
Right.
that there's like everybody in the public eye is like, okay, when I'm in this situation, I have to flip a switch?
I feel like that's probably more of the case. There's everyone just in show business, just in general, just has to be like almost two separate people. And I feel like you kind of see that like even with watching them deal with paparazzi and stuff. Like they're just a whole different person when they're just trying to walk from one place to another. Um I mean, I would also hate just getting cameras shoved up my butt if I'm
Yeah.
getting out of my car just to go to Aldi.
Yeah, geez. And then then, one of the paparazzi will probably hassle you for a quarter for the shopping cart
Right.
at
Like
Aldi.
I'm just trying to get groceries. Like I sing music and do these kind of things, but I'm also just a human. So just treat me with some I have like zero tolerance for paparazzi. I'm surprised more of them don't get knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a matter of like who they're dealing with, Have you ever seen any, like, cuz I haven't seen any like paparazzi pictures of Weird Al too much all over the place.
No.
Pictures of Weird Al probably don't pay too well.
Right.
Because what are you going to catch him doing? Something that he wouldn't do on his own
Right.
anyway?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Come on now. So another deal, I guess, that has been a thread through a lot of these, like what Weird Al means to me type of conversations is like his music is one thing, and his comedic sensibilities and all how smart he is, they're all wonderful, wonderful things. But, I know you through our shows and our network and stuff. And you are you're a kind and genuine person. And that's what you put out there into the podcast community, right? You're very, very supportive. Like you go above and beyond with all of us, doing like the feedback that you leave and everything. It is all very, very, very heartfelt. And that does not go unnoticed and unappreciated. So what I'm getting at with this is the kind factor that Weird Al puts out into the world. I live very much lately, with what would Weird Al think about this before I do pretty much anything,
Sure.
I'm kind of at a point where I'm owning the fact that he's my role model because he absolutely should be. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't want him to be, upset or disappointed in anything that I do. And so since you are a parent to, a cacophony of young children, if there was one thing you would want them to take and appreciate from Weird Al, and it could be his music, it could be who he is, it could be his kindness, like what lessons can you pull from your experience with Weird Al to kind of impart upon children?
Oh man. I think I can answer that, but it has to be like two different ways.
Mhm.
So the first way was, and actually just a couple weeks ago, I was driving with my kids in the car, and I had my middle daughter, who is she just turned 12 this year. Nope, I'm sorry. She turned 13 this year. Man, I already
Ooh.
forgot what year it was. Oh, okay. She just turned 13 this year. And like I try to get the kids to listen to more of my kind of stuff, but they're definitely in like the TikTok music. Like that's what they listen to, and that's about all they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So every once in a while I try to just like, here, you should check this out. Instead of just living in your little bubble, just break out of it. Because like I said, I listen to literally everything. Like there's something of every genre I can at least appreciate and can listen to. And my kids have recently gotten into like Eminem. And the other day I was driving in the car, I had my phone hooked up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna test the waters here. And so I threw on, and I know it's not an absolute favorite, and
Yeah.
it's not mine either, but I threw on Couch
Hey,
Potato.
that's your door.
And the guitar starts playing, and her eyes lit up because she's like, oh, Dad's playing Eminem. And then he started talking, and then she kind of got this confused look on her face, and then the song kicked in, and she was mad at me because I was playing Weird Al, because she had never heard Weird Al before. This was her introduction to him, and she didn't appreciate it at all. So I guess to answer your question is that I would love for them to at least appreciate it, and maybe basing it off of this first listen isn't fair. Maybe I just need to be like, you need to just check out some of his other stuff and at least understand what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's taking
Yeah.
something that was popular at the time, and he's putting his own spin on it. He's having fun with it. He hits the same kind of beats and stuff that Eminem does, and and I guess other artists too. Like, I mean, some of his songs, he does their mannerisms and stuff so well. It's scary. He's like a chameleon of music. It's
Sure
crazy.
is.
So yeah, at least I would love for them to at least appreciate that more. But then also to just, like you said, the whole kindness thing. Like, I have a house with 5 girls,
Oh, yeah.
and sometimes they will. I don't understand it because I grew up with brothers, and we got along or we left each other alone. There was hardly any time where we were just like at each other's throats. But these kids will fight all the time over just the littlest things, and it's like maybe we could take some of that like just kindness and just the easygoing attitude and stuff, and just like let things just be.
Yeah.
So I guess
Sometimes-
that's my answer is both. Like everything that Weird Al encompasses, I wish that they would do.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely. I mean, I think those are both wonderful, great answers to what is arguably a very difficult and weird question. But thank you for going with me on this ride. I appreciate it. But
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know much about the TikTokies because I don't do much on the TikToks. But there are people doing silly parody stuff on there, right? There must be. And that could be another door. It's like, okay, you wouldn't get so-and-so with this little TikTok channel without Weird Al doing the thing that he was doing, right?
Ah, there you go. That's true. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't. So we have him kind of both to thank and blame for that. But while I don't think anybody on TikTok does is as good as what Weird Al has done, I feel like we were saying before, he opened the door and gave us the freedom to do the thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. I mean, there's been other like parody artists that I've tried to check out just kind of in the same vein. I know back when I was more into country music, there was a country artist named Cletus T. Judd, I think his name was.
Okay.
And he wrote country parodies, and he was actually pretty entertaining. Not as great as Weird Al, because Weird Al encompassed all genres, whereas Cletus was more like, hey, this Toby Keith song, I'm gonna make fun of that. He even actually got Toby Keith on one of his songs, which was
That's cool.
kind of cool at the time.
Yeah.
But he did that. And then there's another guy, and I hate saying his name because I honestly can't, and maybe I won't even say it. There's another parody guy who does really, really bad parody songs, but he has an audience, and I guess once again you can either thank/blame Weird Al for that, because otherwise where would this guy come from if he didn't have that blueprint more or less to follow?
Yeah. So I just appreciate people taking a swing and doing stuff. It's like going to karaoke. You know,
Yeah.
every time I mention that, Russ and I love going to karaoke, inevitably somebody always says, "Oh, I could never get up there and do that. There's not enough alcohol in the world." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? No, don't tell me you don't sing in your car. Don't tell me there's not a song that you know well enough to belt out. Right? It's the what are people gonna think of me factor that stops people. And I kind of love people that just like, you know what? Take the swing. Do it.
Yep.
As long as you are genuinely enjoying yourself in the moment, I don't care. You can be the worst karaoke singer ever. You could be the worst parody artist ever. But as long as you're having fun and not hurting anyone, like we have been saying this whole time, who
Yeah.
cares?
Exactly.
It was this came up on shuffle for us in the car the other day, but not a parody, but definitely a pastiche artist, Richard Cheese.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
He does the big band swing stuff, and he just put out a new live album that we kind of got into listening in the car the other day, and it's quite enjoyable. But I literally out loud said to Russ, "It's not even a dotted line. You draw a straight line from Weird Al polkas to Richard Cheese, like because he's not changing the words; he's just changing the genre of the songs."
Yeah. Yeah, he does a great job with that too. I've heard a couple of his things come up on like a randomized playlist of mine, and it's like, man, this guy like took this song, completely switched it up, but still made it enjoyable.
Yep.
Like you do that, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I do have a funny karaoke story if you don't mind me sharing.
I would love it. Yes, please.
I mean, like I said, I don't really care what people think of me, and the whole thing with karaoke is you're in a bar full of people. They know what to expect, you know? And I've seen people sing karaoke all the time. Not once have I ever been like, and at least carried it on for like more than maybe the night to be like, man, that guy really sucked at that song. It's usually like it happened and it's just gone. So if that's any like, what's the word, motivation for you to just really just get up there and just do it, it's going to stay for maybe that night, maybe a couple hours, and then it's just gone. And then you have that to like think back and enjoy, and no one else cares. But last year at my company's Christmas party, we went to a karaoke bar, and it was late. Everyone was drinking, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. And it was the last song, and the guy was closing down, and I had put my name down for a song. And he goes, "All right, people, that's enough. You know, we're going to shut down for the night." And then he looked at the list. He goes, "Actually, we're going to do this one." And he called my name up there, and I went up there, and it was a Tenacious D song. And it's not appropriate for this show, but it's in one of their first albums.
Oh, it's the You Don't Always Have to F
Yep,
her.
that's the one.
Very
Yep.
good.
And I went up there in front of my boss who owned the company and his wife who helped own the company and all of my coworkers. And I belted this song out with as much gusto as I could. And the magical thing was there were other people in the bar who came up to me. I had two other singers with me just belting this song out in front of the whole bar. And I shut that bar down karaoke style in one of the most magnificent ways possible. And it was incredible.
I think that's marvelous. And again, Tenacious D is another one of those artists that they're different from Weird Al for sure, but also you don't get Tenacious D without Weird Al.
No, you definitely do not get that. And that's why I brought that up.
Yeah.
Like you can, like you said, you can do another line from Weird Al to Tenacious D. You know, they're two weirdos who just kind of went for it, and they kill it. I love everything that those guys do, and they wouldn't be here without Weird Al's influence.
Hardcore, absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. You know, and then obviously, of course, you know, Lonely Island wouldn't be here without Weird Al. There's just so much, you know, obviously Weird Al saved Daniel Radcliffe's career from the toilet with that movie.
Oh, what a movie that was too. I enjoyed every second of that movie.
So good.
It was amazing.
I loved it. Yeah, I've said this before. I set my Roku box to like Finland time so I could watch it before it was supposed to debut in the Eastern time zone where I live. So I started it at like 7 p.m. instead of midnight.
That's awesome.
You know,
way to like make it work.
Find your workarounds, you know? Like, I don't have time to wait. What do you think I am? You know? It's great. It's great.
That's incredible. cool.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add about Weird Al, or
Um,
anything you wanted to like tie a bow on?
the only thing that I wanted to bring up is I know at one point too, one of my schoolmates, he rode the bus with me. A lot of my stuff ends up on the bus, I guess. Um, but he had burned me a CD once of Weird Al music videos, and I know that back in when I was growing up, TV channels with music videos were such a big thing. That was my afternoon, get home from school, throw the backpack down, and go into mom's room where the cable box was and watch VH1 and watch Fuse and all those like different channels to watch music videos. But he gave me a disc of just Weird Al music videos. And I guess I hadn't seen a lot of these, but a lot of them, like I would just go on my computer and just watch these things and pay attention to them and just like enjoy my time watching these videos. So like, um, Amish Paradise was on there. One of my favorites was Saga Begins.
Such a good video.
I love that video. I love that song to death. Like it's definitely like probably like in my top 5, maybe even 3 Weird Al songs of all time.
Right on.
I think we talked about that before.
Yup.
And then just to kind of round out the whole school thing, like when White and Nerdy came out, that was once again back when Right and Dirty was the song on the radio. And for Weird Al to take this rap song and completely go the complete opposite way of being like this hardcore thug to just being like this more or less loser,
Uh-huh.
but just make it such an enjoyable, fun thing to do. Like I prefer that one over Right and Dirty.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's the same story but different, right? It's
Yeah.
all still about being judged and profiled for what you look like and what you're wearing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I mean, I could try to, dust off the memory banks and see what else comes up. But overall, I mean, just thanks to my dad and his weird sense of humor, just introducing me to Weird Al, to me now still blaring out songs in my car when I'm going to and from work. That's just, he's just there
yeah.
like all the time. And like I said, making up parody songs to everything I listen to, like sometimes to the annoyance of my wife, who gets tired of me making up words to songs.
Well, you know what? You're keeping your brain healthy and alive. So I think that's the benefit of that right there. But if you do dust off those memory banks and something else pops into your brain and you want to send me a clip for my clip show, you're more than welcome to. Feel free.
I'll get the duster.
Yeah. Get that duster out. Get that Swiffer. The dust buster.
Yeah, there you go.
What have you. So, I know you talked a bit about it at the beginning, but, close up here again with info about the Ever Trending Story podcast, where they can find you, all that stuff.
Yeah, so the Ever Trending Story podcast is wherever you can find your podcasts. Me and my co-host Frankie, we peruse the news and find cool, trendy topics, and then we take those and spin a fun fictional story based on a randomized genre. And we are all over the social medias at Ever Trending Pod. So like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it. And we're also on TikTok too. If you're one of those cool hip people who use TikTok, we're on there as well. So
neato. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Garrett, this has been an absolute delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I love coming on your show and hanging out with you for the time that we get, and it's always a blast. So
yay. See, this is people. I'm definitely not scary. I'm not scary at all. I'm a wonderful person to talk to. Garrett said so.
Seal of approval.
Hooray. All right, folks. We're gonna slide on out of this one and tune in next week, where we're gonna re-release our big epic What Weird Al Means to Me compilation thing. It'll be fun. And all right, come at you again next time.
Oh, sorry. We got a one. We got a that's so again.